Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Arjun Kakanda. It has been way too long since I've made a video. The last video I made was, I think, in August for weapons. And I haven't made a video since. I went off to college and I don't want to say I don't have time, but because that's technically not true. I've had time, I just chose not to make a bunch of videos. I've got very lazy for a while. I've been watching a lot of movies, but I just haven't been making videos. Like I still review stuff on Letterboxd and stuff like that. So I just haven't been keeping up on YouTube because it does take a lot of effort to record videos and edit them and all that stuff, especially with college going on. It's just annoying. I wasn't very consistent last year either, but you know, this year I was hoping I was gonna be a little more consistent, but it's even worse. I just haven't made any videos in college. I'm back home for winter break right now, and I got a chance to watch Marty Supreme. I wasn't really planning on reviewing this movie. There's nothing specific about this movie that I wanted to review. I was also not very excited for it because it was not one of my most anticipated movies of the year. It was not on my list. I didn't even know it was coming out till like a month and a half, 2 months ago. Eventually I found out it was about ping pong, and then I went through Timothée Chalamet's crazy marketing campaign for the last month or so, where he's just doing random interviews that are obviously fake, but like just really funny stuff. And also his song that he made with SD Kid, like all these random things he's been doing to market and promote this movie. And I was obviously intrigued. I wanted to see what the movie was going to be like. Now that I got a chance to watch it, I'm going to share my review. But before I do that, let me know down in the comments. If you guys got a chance to watch Marty Supreme, let me know what you thought about it. How excited were you to watch it? Were you more like me, where you didn't know much about the movie and the marketing campaign kind of pushed you to watch it? Or are you just someone that was very excited from it to start with? I would love to know your thoughts. With that said, I'm going to get started talking about it. Now, like I said, I wasn't really planning on reviewing this movie. There's a lot of movies I wanted to review, like Avatar, Smashing Machine, The Long Walk, a lot of movies since I stopped reviewing movies that I wanted to review. This was not one of them. So, after watching it, the fact that it was as good as it was is the reason I'm making this video right now. The fact that this movie was so good is the reason I wanted to be like, if I have to make a video about this, that's how good this is. What this movie does is so stressful. It is the most stressful experience I've had in a theater this whole year. Like I've seen a few thrillers, I've seen horror movies, but this is the one where I'm like, I don't know where this is going. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm totally on board for the ride. I was completely glued to the screen the entire time I was in that theater, and I just couldn't look away. Timothée Chalamet is absolutely fantastic as Marty Mauser here. He's so good. He's really good in the ping pong scenes, which is surprisingly not a lot of the movie. I didn't know what the movie was about. Like I said, I know Josh Safdie was directing it, one half of the director duo of the Safdies, and they split up. Benny Safdie did the Smashing Machine, which I watched. Wasn't that big of a fan of it. I enjoyed it. It's a fine movie, but it's not particularly great. This one, on the other hand, it's that good. It's really that good. I didn't understand why everyone was so hyped about it. And even about halfway through the movie, I'm like, this is very good, but I don't know if it deserves the hype. But after finishing the movie, I genuinely thought, not only does it deserve the hype, it deserves more hype than it is getting. It's utterly fantastic how this movie is able to put you into this guy's life, Marty Mauser, who's a terrible person. Timothée Chalamet is really good at playing this guy that's really bad. He's not a good dude, but he plays him so well and so compelling that you're glued to the whole screen the whole time. He does terrible things, but you're still waiting to see what is he going to do next. What's the route he's going to take next. You can't. He's a bad person in a lot of ways, but he's also a very complex and complicated person where you kind of care about him in a weird way, but you don't want him to necessarily go through with everything he's doing because some of those things are pretty bad. He's also a guy that can talk himself out of anything, so there's a lot of situations where he gets into trouble, but there's he finds ways to talk himself out of it or just manipulate the other people around him to get out of that situation. This especially becomes clear with his girlfriend character, and she's played by an actor named Odessa, and I thought she did a fantastic job. She was really good at kind of going back and forth with Marty, where their relationship works really well, but also they kind of manipulate each other to each other's advantage, and I think that works very well too. The movie has a great score and soundtrack too. Now, I have a few issues with the soundtrack. It's a lot of the songs that were used in this movie were songs that came out after the movie takes place, because I'm pretty sure this movie takes place in the 50s, and a lot of the songs are like 80s, 90s, stuff like that. And I was a little confused because I didn't know why they made that choice, because it kind of does take you out of the movie as like, oh, that song came out a lot after. Like they used this one, Forever Young, prominently in the trailer, and it's also in a little bit of the movie, and it's a great song, but again, it just doesn't, it's kind of odd that they use that in this movie. And there's also some very cliche needle drop moments, and it worked in the context of the movie, but at the same time, I'm like, I think the soundtrack could have been a little more inspired. But score is great. The score for this movie is really, really good, and I really liked it. I wish that the soundtrack was on par with the score. I can't really say that, even though there's some good moments for sure. But I did really like the score. Tyler, the creator, plays Marty's best friend, and he's pretty good too. Like their back and forth works really well. I didn't know what he was gonna be like as an actor, obviously, because he's never acted before. But he did a pretty good job, and especially in moments where they both are together on screen and they're jumping off of each other, it works really well. And this is a very chaotic movie. I read a review of John Campia, who I really like his videos. I watch him all the time. He didn't like this movie for a lot of the same reasons that I loved it. He didn't like how chaotic it was and how it switched like focuses every 20-ish minutes. But I think that's what works about this movie, is because it is kind of divided into different chunks where something's happening at the beginning of the movie, and then like immediately, like 20-ish minutes after, it switches to something else, and it keeps doing that, but everything ties back to something that came before it, so it all loops back around. And especially when you get into the second half of the movie, it is some of the most tense and really out there stuff I've ever seen. There's some stuff that happens where I'm like, am I still watching the same movie? To me, the best actor race, I'm not sure if Paul Mescal from Hamnet is going to be best actor or best supporting actor, but if he's going to be in the best actor, I think, to me, my two best performances this year are Paul Mescal in Hamnet and Timothée Chalamet in this movie. Two best male performances. If Paul Mescal is going to be in supporting actor, Timothée Chalamet is the one. He's the one I would pick as the best performance of the year pretty easily. A lot of people might say Michael B. Jordan in Sinners. A lot of people might say Leonardo DiCaprio in One Battle After Another. I don't think DiCaprio was that good in One Battle After Another, personally. I also just don't love that movie as much as other people do. I think it's great, but not nearly as great as some people are praising it to be. And Sinners is a fantastic movie, but I don't think Michael B. Jordan is the reason for that. Although his performance is great, but I don't think he might get nominated. I don't know if he deserves to win Best Actor, personally. I don't really know what I would say are issues about this movie. Like I think, like I said, I do think the soundtrack could have been more inspired, but other than that, I don't really have any issues with it. It is very chaotic, but I'm sure it's going to work well for me on rewatch, because not only is it a great, deep story with a message about this main character that's incredibly flawed. Not only is he flawed, he's honestly a bad person. It's not only that, it's very entertaining, and I'm sure it's going to be very rewatchable because there's so much going on. It's so chaotic and hectic that I'm sure there's things I didn't notice that I'm going to pick up on rewatch, and I'll probably like the movie more. I've been waiting this whole year for a movie that I could say is like that 5 out of 5 kind of movie, where last year that was Fall Guy for me. I know a lot of people are going to be like, Fall Guy, really? Because I really like Dune Part 2, which is my second favorite movie of 2024, but The Fall Guy was my favorite movie of that year. Even though that's probably a very weird take for a lot of people, that is my personal opinion. Now, this year, I've been waiting the whole year for a movie like that. I know a lot of people are going to say Sinners, one battle after another. I don't think personally. Sinners is close. Sinners is like a 4.5 on Letterboxd for me right now. So is something like The Long Walk, Thunderbolts. Like those movies are great, but they're not quite that top tier for me. And I don't think I would give this movie a 5 out of 5 quite yet. I think I do need to rewatch and maybe see if I have any more issues with it. But it's very close. Like I walked out of this movie loving it so much that right now it is probably my best movie of the year currently. And very much, I believe that if I give it a rewatch, it could be that 5 out of 5, almost perfect rating on Letterboxd for me. I am going to go into some minor spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, I would avoid a bunch of this stuff and then just skip to my final thoughts where I give my score and everything. There's things that happen in the movie, like I said, I didn't expect at all. There's a scene as you go into the second half or probably almost near the third act of the movie, where they're going to find the dog that Marty lost. And while they're finding that, they go with the owner and they're holding his pregnant girlfriend hostage. And that whole scene is crazy because you see 3 people just die in that scene. And it's absurd how that scene plays out. And when I watched it, I was like, this is not what I expected to happen in Marty Supreme, a movie about Timothée Chalamet playing ping pong. That's like, I didn't see that coming at all. But it works so well. His girlfriend also gets shot. She starts bleeding and then takes her to the hospital and all that stuff. And then he flies to Japan. So, like, all that, there's moments like that where I think this movie is not only very good, it's genuinely crazy how it's able to accomplish that. And then the scene in Japan where it's not even an actual tournament that he's playing this guy in, but he beats him. And when he wins, the satisfaction that he feels, you kind of feel as the audience too. Even though this is a really bad guy, even though he did some really atrocious things throughout the movie and he used people to his advantage, finessed his way out of anything. And when you get to that point, when you see him win, it is very satisfying emotionally. Even though he didn't win the tournament or anything, he beat the champion. And that's what matters. And I think that worked so well here. And I also have to say, the very end of the movie, I'm not sure exactly what that could mean, where he sees his kid and starts crying. Because he's not necessarily a redeemable character. Because like he does some horrible things throughout the movie, says some crazier things. Especially, there's a scene to his girlfriend where he says, your life has no meaning. My life has meaning. I have to go play ping pong. I have to do this. I am important. You don't mean anything. Some racist things to other people, like the Japanese, the Jews. Even though he's Jewish himself, like he says, I guess that's not anti-Semitic then, but like either way, he says some terrible things, racist things. But even though he says that, he says it in a way that's interesting. He's not just outright actually racist to anyone. Even when he beats the Japanese guy, the champion, he still, he says thank you. He thanks him for giving him the chance to do that. And like, it's a beautiful moment. It really does work really well for me. So he says some bad things, but especially the scene where he says to his girlfriend that her life doesn't have meaning and all that, and she left his husband because she has his baby and all these things. He says that, but when you get to that final moment, the movie tries to make you, I guess, kind of emotional with him, and I think it succeeds because I think that kind of symbolizes something in this movie. Where I think my friend said this that I watched this movie with. He said that Tyler, the Creator's character, probably represents what Marty Supreme's character arc after this movie is going to be, where he now has a family, he has a girlfriend, or he's probably going to spend a long time of his life with, at least based on the movie, the way the movie ends. He has a kid now that he's very happy to see at that end. So maybe he's just going to become a humble guy who, works as a shoe cleaner in his grandpa's shop or uncle's shop. I don't remember exactly who the character was, but his uncle's shop, and you know, maybe that's what he's gonna be, and he's not gonna pursue ping pong as anything serious, because now he got the satisfaction of being the champion. He knows he's the best in the world because he beat the best in the world. So maybe that's all he needed. So maybe the rest of his life is just gonna be him living out a normal life with his family. Or maybe that's not what that means at all, and maybe Tyler, the Creator's character, does not represent that, and maybe his life is going to look a little different than his is. Either way, you can see that as you want, but it's a great character moment. That even though he was being a terrible person throughout the whole thing, he got the satisfaction he wanted, and he got a kid who, the whole movie, he's been saying, that's not my kid, I don't want that kid, that's not my kid. And clearly it was the whole time. He's saying that's not my kid, but when he sees the kid, he gets emotional, he gets happy. And I think that definitely means something for the character. Maybe he's not completely unredeemable, you know, maybe he does have some redeeming qualities, and you see that at that point. This movie has heart. I appreciated that. Like, it's dark, he's a bad person at times, but it has heart, and it makes you care. And ultimately, that's what I wanted from a movie like this year. There's a lot of movies that came close to me. Like Sinners was that good. I think Weapons was fantastic. I loved The Long Walk. Before this, I think The Long Walk was my favorite movie of the year. But this movie had the it factor. It had, not only is it dark, bleak, and there's some crazy stuff that happens throughout it, it's also rewatchable, it's entertaining, it works really well, has a fantastic lead performance. To me, Marty Supreme is probably the movie of the year. It really lived up to the hype, even though I wasn't all that hyped for it. It's fantastic. I cannot wait to rewatch this. I'm probably going to rewatch this multiple times just because of how good it was. I thought it was fantastic. For my score, like I said, I'm not going to go quite 5 out of 5 yet. I'm going to give it 94%. So I like on rewatch, I'm probably going to bump it up to that 5 out of 5. So 95, 96. Who knows? Maybe I'll even go ahead and give it 100%. I don't think I will, because I do wish we got to see a little more of Marty's family and what his family life is like, especially his mom. You only get to see a little bit of that in the first half of the movie, and maybe a little bit in the second half, but you don't get... There's definitely some things I would have liked to see in this movie that would have, even on first watch, I would have been like, oh yeah, it's a perfect 10 out of 10 movie. I don't think I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I don't think I'm going to ever go 100% on this, but it could go pretty close. Like, I could see myself giving this a 97, 98, just because of how much I love everything else. And the issues I have with the movie are mostly minor things that I wish we got to see. So yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on Marty Supreme. Clearly, I loved it, and for me, it lived up to the hype. Let me know down in the comments, what did you think about it if you saw it? If you enjoyed my review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I'll also leave links below in the description for more of my videos and my other socials, so go follow me on there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.